Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into two fascinating ancient texts to unpack a massive, timeless paradox about human power, hubris, and delusion. It's a journey that takes us all the way from the bloody conquests of an ancient empire straight to a quiet, radical teaching about humility and truth. Let's get right into it.
So, who really holds the power? I mean, when we look at history, or frankly, even the modern world, we constantly see people building massive empires, conquering nations, and hoarding just incredible wealth. But are these self-proclaimed masters of the universe truly in control? Or is there a grander, unseen design at play that they completely miss while they're busy patting themselves on the back? To answer that, we're going to trace this theme step by step. We'll start with the paradox of power, look at the arrogance of Assyria, discuss the axe and the craftsman, move on to redefining true wisdom, and finally wrap up with the power of the childlike. Section 1. The Paradox of Power.
Our first text from the book of Isaiah presents a pretty stark disconnect between cosmic reality and human ambition. On one hand, God uses the mighty Assyrian Empire merely as a rod in anger, basically a disciplinary tool directed at a specific, impious nation. But Assyria completely misunderstands its purpose. It actually believes it's the ultimate mastermind, acting on its own agency, bent on total destruction to just make an end to nations. They're a tool that has completely lost the plot.
Moving to Section 2. The Arrogance of Assyria. This profound misunderstanding gives us a wild glimpse into the internal monologue of a reigning empire. Just listen to this quote. "By my own power I have done it, and by my wisdom, for I am shrewd." I mean, wow. They are claiming 100% credit for their conquests, attributing their dominance entirely to their own perceived brilliance. There is absolutely zero acknowledgement of a grander design or a higher power here.
And the source material meticulously lists how Assyria exercised this brutal control. Because they claim, "I am shrewd," they genuinely believe they can just redraw the global map and move boundaries. Under the banner of "my own power," they justify pillaging treasures. And feeling like a giant, well, they casually topple kings as if it's nothing but a game.
Assyria even uses this chilling metaphor to describe what they're doing. They say, "My hand has seized like a nest the riches of nations, as one takes eggs left alone." Think about that. They are casually equating slaughtering entire populations and looting cities to snatching defenseless eggs from an abandoned bird's nest. They even brag that no one so much as fluttered a wing or chirped in resistance. It is just terrifying. Completely unchecked ego.
Section 3. The Axe and the Craftsman. Now, the text doesn't just let Assyria get away with this boasting. It brilliantly deconstructs their arrogance by asking a wonderfully piercing question. Will the axe boast against him who hews with it? Really think about that for a second. Can a tool claim the glory of the worker swinging it? Does the axe get to stand there and say, "Hey, look how shrewd I am to fell this mighty oak"? Of course not. That's ridiculous.
The text just piles up these metaphors to expose the sheer absurdity of the situation. Imagine a saw trash-talking the carpenter using it, or a wooden walking stick trying to physically lift a human being. It's ancient, almost comical sarcasm. And it perfectly highlights how utterly ridiculous it is for an instrument, even an instrument as large and terrifying as the Assyrian Empire, to claim superiority over its master. But here's the crucial point. This delusion has a very severe consequence. Because Assyria has mistaken its role as a tool for being the actual master of the universe, the text warns of a sudden downfall. The quote-unquote fat ones, the wealthy, powerful elites of the empire, will be struck with leanness or a wasting disease. And that massive, terrifying imperial glory, the text says it will ultimately be burned away, literally reduced to nothing more than kindling for a fire. Their hubris is exactly what fuels their destruction.
That brings us to Section 4, Redefining True Wisdom.
This is a crucial pivot for us. If worldly power and wealth are illusions, if these so-called conquerors are really just axes boasting to the lumberjack, where do we find actual truth? To answer that, we're going to jump thousands of years forward to the Gospel of Matthew. This text radically flips the script on what it means to be wise and who exactly gets to understand the deepest truths of the universe. Much like the story of the arrogant Assyrians, this text sets up a really powerful contrast. From the wise and learned, the intellectuals and the powerful folks who think they have it all figured out, the ultimate truths are actually hidden. Paradoxically, it is to the childlike that these massive truths are fully revealed. The text gives us this beautiful quote from Jesus, who exclaims, I give praise to you, Father, Lord of heaven and earth, for although you have hidden these things from the wise and the learned, you have revealed them to the childlike. He is actively praising the Lord of heaven and earth for this specific dynamic, for intentionally bypassing the arrogant and graciously choosing to reveal ultimate realities to those who are humble.
And finally, Section 5, the power of the childlike. Now, it's vital to understand that being childlike here is not about being childish or weak, not at all. It's actually the exact posture required to receive true knowledge. The childlike humbly receive divine revelation. Unlike an empire that violently grasps, steals, and plunders to gain power, the childlike simply and quietly receive what is generously handed over to them by a higher power.
And what's handed over is nothing less than ultimate truth. The text maps out this exclusive, intimate chain of knowledge, and it flows like this. All things are handed over to the Son by the Father. No one truly knows the Son except the Father, and no one knows the Father except the Son, and, crucially, anyone to whom the Son wishes to reveal him. This shows us that true knowledge flows not through human conquest, not through being the loudest or the absolute strongest, but strictly through divine grace and revelation. As we synthesize these ancient texts, we're left with a massive, perspective-shifting reversal. True wisdom isn't found in your own hype or in dominating your neighbors. So I'm going to leave you with this. When you look at your own life and ambitions, are you the brilliant craftsman of your own destiny? Or do you have the childlike wisdom to realize you might just be a very loud tool in the hands of a much grander design?